My name is actually Mead. So I work for a company called CAE Technology Services. They've been a gold partner, a gold Cisco partner for a long time. So certainly for as long as that I've worked there. Myself, I've worked with Cisco solutions since around 2007. I started off obviously with a CCNA, then quickly moved into wireless technologies, where I've stayed pretty much since then until now. We offer the entire suite, so SecureX, Umbrella, Cisco ISE are the main headlines, but also just we work a lot on developing the orchestration, automation of new security systems in line with Cisco. Well, I think it's important because obviously there's security engineers out there, and they're obviously at the forefront of problems on the networks that they're trying to deal with. So tools that they can use to solve the problems quickly and easily is incredibly important. Often when I'm using Cisco ISE, it's for guest portals, for onboarding devices. So if a company wants to use BYOD, where it allows their employees to bring their own device, it makes them feel happier, because they're more familiar with their own device, but obviously there's a large security risk with that. So Cisco ISE can help with onboarding those devices, check that they're up to date with security patches, and they fit the criteria really to join the network. So I think the one that I get the best feedback from is the guest portals. So the guest portals and sponsor portals, where a company can customize the appearance of the guest portal. So as people join the guest network, they're presented with the branding of the company that they're in, and it just it feels nicer. I first started working with ISE at version 1.2, which was quite a few years ago. So just over the years, the user interface has become a lot easier. The way the different parts of ISE come together are like the connections between the different sections are a lot easier to follow, and the interface gives you a lot clearer picture of how those bring together the different policies and the different standards that you're building. I think, so I mentioned earlier about the onboarding, so I don't see as many customers as I should adopting that. So I think to make that process a lot easier and to make it less intrusive on the end user's devices would be really good. I think certainly like a lot of customers have used like a third party to manage their guest Wi-Fi, and I think when ISE presents the ability to bring that in-house so that they have full control over that, and so that they can change the branding, they can get extra telemetry from that and user data. I think that works really well. So I've worked with customers that have used for example, the purple portal for their guest wireless access, and I think it just adds an extra layer of complexity that they have all their guest network running through a third party, so they don't have as much visibility over their guest users, and they don't have as much visibility over or control over what their guests see when they join the Wi-Fi network. I think, our main goal is to help, IT managers and IT engineers, administrators to just have better days. So there is a lot of pressure on IT staff, and I think given the right tools and the right solutions, it helps them feel more empowered to do their job much more effectively, and therefore feel prouder of their work, and therefore just have better days. Cisco is the think the main player in networking and security. So it just having that backing behind our company just gives us credence, and it's something that we're proud to sell those products and to recommend those products. I mean, certainly I speak from myself that I feel that there are many solutions out there, but I feel that the Cisco portfolio is what I would sell by choice. So it just makes my job a lot easier. I think generally licensing and can be quite complex with Cisco products. So it's quite often, I mean, certainly for me, when I'm building a solution, the licensing tends to be an afterthought, but it's something that would be nicer that if it was a little bit more intuitive and there was less gotchas in there. I think the best feedback we get from clients is the fact that once they have a Cisco system installed, they tend to stick with Cisco. So when they come to upgrade, they'll just upgrade to the latest Cisco product rather than looking at any other vendors. I think what's a benefit to ISE as far as deployments are concerned are the fact that because it's software based, so everything can be labbed before the event happens. So everything can be tested, everything can be labbed, so that when it's deployed in the real world, you're pretty much confident that everything is going to work. So I think with Cisco support, when it's time to generate attack case, it's usually when things have gone very wrong, that myself, my colleagues have run out of ideas, we don't know what else to do, and we're looking for that kind of almost desperation of help from somebody. And I find that they very much are aware of that by the time it comes to them, it's all the obvious things and all the normal routes of troubleshooting have already been explored. So, and I think it's great that they have a comprehension of that, and obviously that they understand the urgency as well. So there is, my feedback is that it's great that they understand the pressures that that people are under when when dealing with an issue that needs to be solved yesterday. I can't think of a reason why I wouldn't give them 10, just because whenever it's happened, it's always been, I'm so thankful of their help, because like I say, by the time I need to call on Cisco TAC, I'm in a lot of trouble, so they are literally digging me out of a hole. I think with Cisco ISE and the way the policies are built, it just means that it gives you a lot of freedom and a lot of focus into what solution that you want to solve. So it covers a wide range of potential solutions. So and because each bit can just be built together modularly, it's almost like a set of Lego, in fact that you can build anything with it. So it kind of applies to so many different applications. It's difficult to rate ISE because it over the versions it becomes much more complex, which means it becomes harder to use and there's more technical ability required to deploy it. But that also means that it just fits many more solution requirements. So I'd give it an 8 out of 10, but obviously that doesn't give the whole picture. I think it's just an appreciation of how difficult it is working in security, because there's so much stress involved with the pressures of trying to make it easy for customers to use the product, to be to to use the end users without there being security hurdles in the way that they have to jump over all the time. So there's that side of security to make it easier for the user, but then on the other side there is the constant threat of outside threat for cyber attack, which is a constant pressure, and so I think balancing the two can be quite stressful for developers, for engineers and consultants.